Welcome to Live in the Hive. I'm Michelle Eagleton and you're watching the only online magazine show dedicated to theatre across Greater Manchester. So if you love theatre, you're in the right place because coming up, we've got some brilliant interviews with some of the stars that are winging their way to our fair city. It all happens in the Hive, my garden bar. I'm here every Sunday at 8. We stream on the I Love Manchester Facebook platform, the iconic brand dedicated to community and culture, and we're also on our own Facebook page, Live in the Hive. So wherever you're watching us, you are in for a treat tonight. We've got some great guests for you. Joining me very soon, I've got the wonderful Gareth Snook. Now he's currently on tour playing Willy Wonka in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the musical. He's going to be telling me all about what that's like. And talking of musicals, well, we've got one of the stars of Shrek the musical, which is coming this way very soon over the summer break. It's an absolutely fantastic show. Now, if that wasn't enough, every week, you know, we bring you the latest in Greater Manchester theatre news. And this week, well, it's no different. We've got some brilliant announcements to make of some casting in a very, very famous show. And also, if you are interested in bagging yourself a costume that may have been worn by somebody famous or in a theatre production, then stay tuned. All will be revealed in the show later on. I love a good tease, don't you? Now, let's kickstart tonight's show with a wonderful performer. He's been in shows in the West End and on tour. He's currently up and down the country with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the musical, and he's playing the iconic role of Willy Wonka. Before you see my chat with Gareth Snook, then let's take a look at him in action in the show.
Door is chocolate, so tasty, it's so obscene that it must be believed to be seen. Do come in. We take tomorrow, deep in a dream. Separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream. The Candyman can.
It's an amazing show. It's fantastic. It's so vivid, you know. All the characters they're so alive, you know, so bright and colourful. It's wonderful.
And I think what it does is it sticks with you from a child to an adult. So this must work on all levels when the audiences are coming to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it truly is a family show. There's no question about it, you know, from grandparents to young children, you know, there's something for everybody in it. You know, some of the humor is quite sophisticated, you know, and yet you've got some wonderful stuff for the youngsters to see. The visuals are extraordinary, you know, when Violet Beauregard bounces across the stage as this giant blueprint. I mean, they love it. Well, so do the adults.
I've got to say, I saw it in the West End when it first came out. Musical, and I was like, this is never going to tour. So it feels like my dreams have been answered. I mean, it's took a long time, hasn't it? But because the set is incredible. It really is.
Well, our production has been redesigned from the West End because, I mean, you couldn't possibly tour the West End. I mean, it was in Drury Lane. It was enormous. I mean, our version takes 14 trucks. So and that's and that's modest, really. So it is still huge, believe me, but it's doable.
Oh, and what is it like when you get into the factory? Is that a real moment in the show? Because, that's the ultimate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really is a show of two halves. The first half, you see the poverty of the Bucket family, and then you meet all the other golden ticket winners from around the world, and they have their moment as when they receive their tickets. And then Act Two opens up, and it's completely different. It's just suddenly the stage is full of color, of visuals, of extraordinary visuals. With the design, it's all video floor and video walls, and it's wow. It kind of it blows your mind when you see it because it's such a contrast to Act One.
I mean, it is incredible. It just amazes me what they can do with sets nowadays. And like you say, with the screens, it's just so far advanced. We'll get back to that in a bit because I want to ask you about a special bit of the set. But come on, you're the main man here. You're Willy Wonka. What a role. Come on.
I mean, wow. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, when I was offered it, I mean, I took about, I don't know, 15 seconds to decide to do it. I mean, he's an extraordinary man. And the more I've delved into him, the more interesting he becomes. He's so multifaceted, he's extraordinary. He's unpredictable. I mean, he's quirky, he's eccentric, he's got a wicked sense of humor. And, he's like this extraordinary showman, And what's really interesting about him is that everybody thinks of Willy Wonka as this showman, this extraordinary, eccentric, colorful character. And what I find is when at the end of the show, when he recognizes Charlie for the first time, and he looks at him and he sees himself in Charlie, and he realizes, oh my goodness, you are me, and you are going to get the keys to my factory. And when he takes him up in the glass elevator and gives him the key to the factory, the compassion that he shows towards Charlie is very moving, and it's actually one of my favorite points in the show. That I always think that that's the true Wonka.
Yeah.
The rest is showman, and
it's a
showing
facade.
off. Yeah. The man has and not many people remember this. He's got an incredibly large heart underneath all that. He's so complex. It's wonderful.
And like you say, as an actor, that is a brilliant role because you can pretty much go wild with it. Like you say, there's so many elements to it.
Yeah.
It presents different things. And are you finding as the run is going on, you're perhaps adding little bits or quirks or?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any one performance has been the same so far. And particularly because he not only leads the golden ticket winners, the families through the factory, the tour of the factory, but the audience become golden ticket winners, and he has to lead the audience through the factory. So in live theater, very different to the movies, of course, the Willy Wonka has to make a connection with the audience. He has to gain their trust, and they have to feel that he's somebody that they can negotiate with, and give them their trust and follow him through the factory. So he does this through, well, I do it through humor, so which is a wonderful tool to get the audience on your side.
Yeah.
If they can see the humor in him and the humor of the situation of these naughty children, then the better that trust becomes. So and so that interaction with the audience changes every night. It depends what happens,
I'm so excited. Honestly, you've got me on side already with your beardage that's going on. That is so Wonka.
Yeah, well, it was either growing this or sticking one on every night. So I thought it's, I can cope with this for 12 months. Yeah.
You've done really well. Not only, though, is he a great character, I've got to say, in this musical version, in comparison to the film, Wonka has got even more songs. You've got some original songs here. So you don't just get kind of well, the one that Wonka doesn't sing. You get Candyman, you get Pure Imagination, which we all know and love. But
Yeah.
my favourites are simply Second Nature and It Must Be Seen to Be Believed. Honestly, I absolutely love those.
Yeah. Well, it was. You Must Be Believed to Be Seen is, in our version, is a mash of two songs. So you're going to see something quite different when you come and see it. I mean, you
I
essentially
like that.
you'll see You Must Be Believed to Be Seen. That's it. That's what the song is called. But it's a mash of two songs, and it's extraordinary. And it's 5.5 minutes long when he comes on at the end of Act One, and it's quite extraordinary. I don't think the audience quite know what to make of him with this song. It's an amazing number, and when he comes on, he hits the ground running, and he just goes boom, 100 miles an hour. It's great.
Wow. It's getting me really, really giddy about it. I'm going to ask you now what I was going to ask you before about the set. Elevator, of course, a glass elevator. Do we get that then in this production?
Oh, yes. I mean, I can't imagine. Can you imagine audiences sitting down
I know.
there
I was just
and not
thinking,
seeing
if
the
it's
glass
scaled down,
elevator?
does it move?
Yes. Of course it does.
Oh.
And that's the scene where him and Charlie sing this wonderful duet when he says, "The reason I brought you up here because I wanted you to see the stars. I wanted you to see the stratosphere, and believe." And I suppose it represents that is people's imaginations where you can go into the sky, into the stars, if you want that, if you want that, if you've got that ambition, so it's a kind of metaphor, I guess, in some ways. And it's a wonderful scene. I love it. Yeah.
And what's it like working with children? Because they say, don't work with children or animals. But nowadays they can buy and sell you, can't they? Some of these young performers.
I am telling you. I mean, we've got 4 Charlies at any one time. We've got two girls and 2 boys, and they do a week on, week off because of the employment laws here. And each one's totally different, but they're all extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary, because they're 11 and 12-year-olds, and of course they're fearless children, and the skills. I mean, there were a lot of auditions to get these children, so it was a tough job to get. I mean, it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so it is the lead role, and they come on stage and they start the show with a number, and they don't stop till the end. So it's an amazing, incredible responsibility for these young kids, but they take it in their stride. They're amazing.
Oh, I can't wait for that to come to Manchester. One of my favourite musicals, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, still to come on the show, we've got Cherece Richards. She's going to be telling me all about starring as the dragon in Shrek the musical. But first up, it is time this week for this. Oh yes, Greater Manchester Theatre News. And what has been going on this week? Well, this guy everyone is talking about, Julian Clary. It's been announced that he's been cast as King Herod in Jesus Christ Superstar, the tour. Now, it is coming to Manchester in September, and it really is a production that is going to wow you. This won the 2017 Olivier Award for Best Musical Revival. This is the same production that went to the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre in concert. And King Herod, I really think Julian Clary was made for. It is such an iconic role. It has a lot of fun to it. It's got a great song. And yes, he is going to be winging his way to Manchester when it comes to the Palace Theatre. It is the launch of the UK tour that starts here in Manchester, and Julian is going to lead the cast of Ian McIntosh playing Jesus, Shem Omari James, who's Judas, and Hannah Richardson, who plays Mary. You've got some really fantastic songs in here from Andrew Lloyd Webber, like I Don't Know How to Love Him, Gethsemane, and Superstar. Tickets for this are on sale now. Well, something else that tickled my fancy this week was the Bolton Octagon and their announcement that thousands of items from their costume department are going up for sale. They're going to be holding their very first costume sale on Saturday, the 22nd of July from 10 until 4. It's the first event of its kind in the theatre's 56-year history. And there's going to be loads of things that you can go through, from productions of Singing in the Rain, period costumes from Jane Eyre, and costume pieces from the BFG. Now, if you want to go down there, you can do. It's completely free to go in, and you can even bag yourself an item or accessory starting from just £1. And they've all been handmade by the wardrobe department. So it's a little bit of Octagon history. You've also got the Octagon kitchen and bar. That's going to be open on the day. So maybe you could make a full day of it, have some food, have some drink, and get yourself an absolute bargain. Something really, really unique. Fancy dress parties will never be the same again. And talking of fab costumes, well, this is winging its way to Manchester. And I've got to say, I'm really excited for us. I went to see this last week in the West End when it opened, The Wizard of Oz. It was spectacular, and it's coming to Manchester next year from the 24th of April to the 5th of May at the Palace Theatre. It's The Wizard of Oz like you've never seen before. You do feel like you're in Oz, in this technicolor world. What they do with the set is amazing. They haven't announced the cast, but in the West End, Jason Manford is playing the Cowardly Lion, and I would love it if he played that role on home turf. I will keep you posted on that one, but tickets for this are now on sale, and I really reckon they're going to go like hotcakes. Oh, we get some great productions here in Manchester, don't we? And talking of brilliant productions, one that is on its way very, very soon is Shrek the Musical. Now, it's based on Shrek the movie, and if you've never seen it on stage before, then you need to get yourself down to the Opera House. This production is brilliant. I caught up with one of the actors from the show earlier this week, Cherece Richards. She plays the dragon and the Wicked Witch. And just before we take a look at that interview, let's have a look at some of the other cast members and take a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Hello, I'm Joanne Clifton and I'm playing Princess Fiona.
I'm Anthony Lawrence and I'm playing Shrek.
And I'm Brandon Lee Sears and I'm playing Donkey.
I think Shrek is a timeless tale. It's a really human story. Yes, it's an ogre, it's a donkey, it's fairy tale creatures, but we as human beings right in this day and age can really connect with the story, which is all about being who you are, and you're good enough just how you are. You don't need to change, and I think everyone can connect with that, and it's such a celebration.
I love it when Fiona, she hopes to be rescued, and she's imagined it all her life by this brave knight who's like slain the dragon, but he actually hasn't slain the dragon yet. So she sings, "Past the dragon you have slain, you have slain, you have slain." That's my favourite bit.
Well, it's got to be better out than in, I always say.
Definitely. I love touring. I love it because the company gets together and we go all around the UK now and we see all these different cities. There's so much fun to have, there's so many things to see.
It's got something for everyone. It's a real family show.
That.
Cherry, I've got to say, big fan of Shrek the movie. I've seen the musical as well a couple of times. This is really fun. Is it as fun being in the show and rehearsing?
I mean, it's amazing, honestly. It's so fun. All of our energies come together and we're just so bubbly and so musical theatre that everything is just like a big happy celebration. We come in to warm up and, you know, we're having a great time. We're greeting each other, hugging and all of that stuff. So it's just really nice to come into a company where everyone's so welcoming and warm.
Oh, because you are preparing to go out on tour with this. You're coming to us in August, which is really, really exciting. How does it work then? Are you kind of like in the rehearsal room, or are you working with any of the props right now? Because there are some very big and very creative props when it comes to Shrek.
There are so many props. And for me, we started with some props last week. I'm doing the Wicked Witch. Alongside the dragon, of course. I'm the dragon, and then I do the Wicked Witch as well. But the first props that we started with was the witch's broomstick. And it was trying to figure out how we're doing the dance number with the broomstick and not trying to knock anyone out while we're turning around and things like that, which is really funny. And then yesterday we started my number for the dragon, which is called Forever. And it's basically the number where Donkey and Shrek are trying to save Fiona. Donkey bumps into the dragon and she's like, "You're going to stay with me." So, yeah, we had the big dragon puppet in yesterday, figuring that about, and it was so lovely. And I've got a really lovely costume everyone should be looking out for, because I will actually be on stage as well as the puppet.
Fantastic.
Yeah, not always usual. So.
Well, I've got to say, you mentioned Forever then. That is one hell of a song. I mean, that must be great as a performer to get that, because it's just so powerful, and it's a really standout moment, I think, in the show.
Thank you. I think that it really is, and I've always loved the song since I was in drama school, or just graduating this year. And since first year, one of my friends was like, "I feel like you'd be really good at the dragon, like learn this song." And I was like, okay. And we're now in third year. I'm just about to graduate in July, and I'm going to be the dragon in Shrek UK and Ireland tour. I mean, I feel like that was quite a lovely little bit of manifestation going on there.
Definitely. And how does that work then? Did you just see the auditions come up? Did you go for that role then initially? What was it like?
So the process for me was interesting because I've been third year this whole year at Italia Conti. I realised that Once on This Island was going to be a show. So that was actually my first show that I did. So instead of going to my third term at drama school, I started to do Once on This Island. And then during that process, I was reached out to by casting via Italia Conti. And then they told me about the audition, and I was able to go to that. And it was really nice. It was like we had a video audition first, self-tape for the end of Forever. And then that same week we had the final. And then it was like straight away. It was it was a really quick process. Like your life can change very, very quickly.
And
it was in the space of a week.
As somebody who has just kind of come through that process of drama school, that must be, I mean, this is the dream then, isn't it? It's to go from one show to another show. I mean, I've read up on you, and people are saying you are this rising star. So for you, just great.
I am over the moon. I feel so blessed to have these opportunities, because I feel like also being a person of colour in musical theatre, when I first started, I wasn't really sure what I could go out into straight away into the industry. So now having all of these opportunities presented to me in my third year, and being able to do what I love and hopefully inspire some other people to go after their goals, I'm over the moon. I'm so happy. I'm so
Absolutely.
happy.
Yeah, and so you should be. Have you ever been to Manchester before and performed at the Opera House? It's a great theatre,
I have not been to the Opera House, but I've been to Manchester before, and I've just, been around. There are trams and things like that there.
There is. We've got some great shopping. We've got some great places to go out if you have a little bit of downtime.
Yes, I am looking forward. I really want to go exploring Manchester and things like that. So if there are any places that you or anyone recommends, I'm all ears. I'll write it down.
I will drop you a line, and I'll DM you. I'll sort you out. That's absolutely fine. Getting back to the dragon character though, I mean, it is absolutely a spectacle when the dragon comes out on stage. It really is. Is it true? Is it like 5 puppeteers that control it?
So for our production, we have 3 puppeteers that are controlling it, and they are also singing the backup for the dragon as well. Wow. And they tried it for the first time yesterday. And of course, it was so exciting and things like that, but it's such a big puppet. You're just, going around, and I've got quite quick movements, and because it's me and the dragon is basically following me behind, so they're like going along but then singing and then moving this thing and making it feel like it's alive as well. So it does look so nice, and once it's completely finished, there will definitely be some videos released, maybe some TikToks.
You need to slow down, Terry. That's what you need to do. You'll be wearing those puppeteers out.
I know. I'm all over the show. It's like, hi, here I am.
Now, I know it's early days because you've not kind of set out on tour yet and you're still rehearsing. Yes. But obviously, you know, the bits that you're in, you are going to absolutely love as well. But is there a particular part in Shrek that you may be watching from the wings and just thinking, do you know what, that's a moment?
I feel like a big moment is, I know it's today, and it's Fiona's number, and it's like, she's so sweet. Like, she's from this child, and she comes up and turns into, well, Joanne Clifton, that is playing Fiona, and it's just amazing. And I haven't seen too much of it yet, but I can't wait to see how they change the ages from like little Fiona to teenage to the adult, because it is that very hope, you know, I want song and I know that this is going to happen for me, but realistically it's like, oh, you feel for her, because she has no idea when a prince or a knight or anyone is going to come and save her, but she just has that belief and faith. And I feel like you have to have that in this industry as well, because you just don't know what direction your life is going to go in. So I feel like listening to that song sometimes is quite...
I love that. No, and it's so true. But I think it does bring the magic. I think sometimes you kind of see the film, and then when it's taken to stage, you want it to be the best it can be and deliver. And I've got to say, Shrek does that in absolute bucket loads. It does feel like you are there with them, and my jelly top buttons and everything, it just makes me laugh so much. I've got to say though, Joanne has been on Live in the Hive before, and when you see her, just say to her about, you know, what's her favorite pie at the moment, because I think it was a mushroom pie last time she was on, and she does love a good jigsaw. So just to let you know,
I'll get some jigsaws ready.
Yeah, a present at the end of the run. You know, you can't go wrong with a jigsaw for Joanne.
Okay, I'll be noting that down.
Great to chat to Cherry about Shrek. It sounds fantastic. And a big thanks to my earlier guest, Gareth Snook, telling me all about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Two great productions that are coming our way. And if you're interested in finding out what else is going on across Greater Manchester, then all you need to do is head to the I Love Manchester website. They've got it all there. It'll tell you where to go, what to eat, what to see, and what to do. And of course, you can always give us a follow on social media. Find out what we're up to week by week. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Live in the Hive 21. That's it though for this week. I will see you very, very soon. Have a great week, and bye for now.